ComC.com is your home for buying, selling, and flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace is home to over 24 million cards across all sports, genres, and eras. With a ComC.com account, you can purchase cards from different sellers over time and ship them home together later, or immediately reprice them for sale on the ComC marketplace. ComC is excited to welcome collectors to our booth in person at the 2021 National Sports Collectors Convention. It's taking place from July 28th to August 1st at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Chicago. At this year's event, we'll be doing free live box breaks, live industry panels, autograph signings, and much more. Come visit ComC at booth 624. To stay updated with ComC and our events at the National, please follow us on social media at Check Out My Cards, one word, on all platforms. To learn more about the exciting changes being made at ComC, please visit blog.comc.com. You're listening to the WaxPackHero Sports Card Minute, a podcast where we discuss both the hobby and business sides of collecting. I'm your host, Mike Summer, and I want to help you buy, sell, and trade your way into a collection you'll love. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the WaxPackHero Sports Card Minute. Today, we're going to have Ray Schulte join us. As I mentioned before, Ray is one of the people who helps lead the team for the National. He's involved in the Industry Summit. He represents some athletes in the past. He's worked with different leagues and their player representation. Ray has done a lot in both the sports and sports card industry, and I'm happy to have him on the show talking about what we might be able to expect here at the National, what it was like preparing for an event when there were so many unknowns leading up till even May. So I'm excited to bring Ray on in a little bit. First, I wanted to give a shout out to the Sports Card Nation podcast and John Newman. If you didn't get a chance to hear that, I had a chance to sit down with John and have a conversation. That was in the last episode that released last week of the Sports Card Nation podcast, and we did a little home and home. And so John is actually going to be the guest next week on this podcast. And so I've known John for a couple of years now. It was good to have a conversation with him about his background and the hobby and how we see things going today. We just wrapped up a show at our shop last week. We do a monthly show where there's 5 or 6 different vendors that usually come in and set up shops. So we've kind of got multiple shops within the shop, and had a great turnout yesterday. People excited about the hobby, excited about the National coming up. There's a lot of conversation about that. Just had a great time getting to meet people and have some great conversations about cards. And I know you can also have some great conversations with cards with the guys at Underdog Collectibles. They're an online shop run by collectors for collectors that breaks new product every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night. And you can actually watch them break some of that product live in their physical shop in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's near the University of Tennessee campus and University Commons. And you can go check out their inventory of boxes and singles at the shop. And if you don't live close to Knoxville, join the community through their Facebook page. Check them out at www.udogcollect.com and tell them WaxPackHero sent you. And now our conversation with Ray Schulte. Ray, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad we get a chance to talk here just a couple weeks before the big event. And so it's nice to have you on in real time to kind of talk through some of the things that are going to be leading up to the event and at the event and what it was like to plan the event. So I'm glad we get a chance to talk. But before we get into those questions, for those who may not be as familiar with you, could you give a little bit of your background and how long you've been working with the National?
Sure. Well, I've been working with the National for about, it's been 11 years now. And I got involved in it. Mike Burkus and John Brogy asked me to get involved back when Baltimore was on the schedule for the National. And I remember I had moved from New York to Arizona to Baltimore. Baltimore was to work with Cal Ripken. And so I was representing Cal for 9 years. And so I was in Baltimore and I knew the market. And so they asked me if I'd get involved. And I said, yes, absolutely. I thought it was great. You know, I loved Mike Burkus's and John Brogy's vision. They were just 2 guys that basically just knew what was going on, knew the hobby, knew how to deal with exhibitors. And I actually my background too. I consulted with Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA, and the NFL. I worked on all those. The NFL Experience, Major League Baseball Fan Fest. I was the one who brought in the licensees and the exhibitors, and we had that back in the day. They don't have that anymore, but they used to. I mean, in San Diego, we had over 200 exhibitors, wow. And I started with Fan Fest up in Toronto in 1991. So I had that experience consulting with events, and I just jumped at the chance and opportunity back when we started in Baltimore.
Now this year many are predicting is going to be an event like we've never seen before. The pre-demand that seems to be there exceeds what I'm familiar with, and since I've been paying attention, we've seen full week VIP tickets sell out almost a month or more in advance. When's the last time that's happened, or has that ever happened?
I don't recall that ever happening. We actually went to a secondary phase of the VIPs, and that's how much demand there was. But let me tell you this. When we came off our show in 2019, we and the industry had such a great momentum. I mean, it was really starting to take off, and we could feel that. And I know I said to many people, I can't wait to get to Atlantic City. I can't wait because, everything is so strong right now. We're sold out for Atlantic City. Everybody has had a great show in Chicago. We just saw it. We just felt it. And obviously that was curtailed. But, moving forward, fortunately, the industry was able to surge based on the e-commerce and a lot of people being at home, looking through their collections and maybe getting a little bit more involved in their collections and from a buying and selling perspective. And so it was good. But I've got to tell you, I tell a lot of people is that the industry is strong at that point, and so we had the opportunity to kind of go through Atlantic City, and then once we got past that, it was frustration, but everybody was okay because business was just zooming. So going forward after that was a little bit more frustrating because we had no idea, and we were basing all our decisions on somebody else, the health officials in Chicago and Illinois. And we needed to go into this with a no restriction policy. We didn't want to go in with it was, you could only limit it to so many people, or you had to wear a mask, whatever. So we had to wait for the governor. He had a process. He had a five phase process where phase 1, phase 2, it goes up to, and it was been phase 4, I think, a few months ago. And, it was very frustrating because I really couldn't do anything. I couldn't make any deals with the media because half the media, maybe more than half the media, weren't even in the office. It was hard to even find them because, they were sent home. And so it was very tough and very frustrating, challenging to really kind of make solid plans going forward. And then obviously with the exhibitors and the manufacturers and the corporate area, we had no idea really how it was going to shake out. So to answer your question, I mean, it was frustrating. We got to a point where we held, crossed our fingers and basically just said, hey, listen, you know what, we're just gonna endure, and we're just gonna stay steady, and we're just gonna hope for the best. And thanks to like John Brogy and Dan Burkus and the board, the national board, everybody stayed calm, cool, collected, and basically made the right decisions when they had to. And so we're in a really good spot right now. We are, but it's been a lot of work in the last couple of weeks because you have to catch up. I mean, we're the thing is that the bad thing is that we have so much content now, and so we basically have to try to take all this content, like on the Mike Burkus main stage. In the past years, while it was very desirable and manufacturers utilized it and case breakers utilized it and the media utilized it, we had to go out and get content. This year, content's coming to us. And the main stage is I would call it sold out, and that's incredible because, that's 5 days and we're talking about, hour, a half hour segments. So it's been great. And because everyone's had so much pent up energy and because, for me, people ask me, they say, well, what's going to happen there in terms of the buying, the selling, the high price, low price? What's it going to be? You know what? I don't care, because you know what the national means to me? The national means to me is going there and seeing my friends, making new friends, talking business, talking sports. I mean, it's just a 5-day, social networking opportunity. And that's what I enjoy about it the most. Yeah, I'll buy a few things and, at the national, I'll look around. But, there's nothing more important to me than to make new friends and to see, all these families come in. In the past, we used to have, maybe, an older gentleman with maybe a teenager or 20-year-old son. Today, we have the entire family. We have the mom, the dad, the daughter, the son, the grandparents, something for everybody. So that is the most exciting thing looking forward for me is social networking, meeting new friends and seeing the families that come and just enjoy it. I was telling my son the other day that there's an experience that I had that I was walking down the aisle. This was back in Chicago in 19. And this father and son were talking. And the father was talking, and I stayed to kind of overhear what they were saying. But the father was talking to his son about, Mickey Mantle. He's looking at a Mickey Mantle jersey, and he was talking about Mickey and how when he was growing up, Mickey was his idol, and this and that. And the son turns around and says, "Dad, it's Judge. It's Aaron Judge, Dad." And all of a sudden now they were in a conversation, and you could see. It was a great bonding moment. And you could see the dad's eyes kind of light up because he connected with his son. And to be able to do that is just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that interaction, that personal interaction as well. There's people that you meet online or that you have a conversation with via Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, but getting a chance to meet them face to face and sit down, have a meal with them or those types of things, make it just as memorable as picking up some of those key pieces for your collection. So I'm agreeing with you on that. We're looking, like I said, the VIP tickets have sold out. There's only single day general admission tickets left. I assume you guys are working on some kind of contingency plan for if we get to a point where we'd be bumping up against fire code regulations and those types of things too, if there's a lot of walk-up attendance as well.
Absolutely. We've been talking to the convention center, who are great partners. I mean, they're just fantastic people to work with. We're talking to, safety. We'll probably have more security for that purpose, but very, very aware of, potential overcrowding and issues. So definitely to answer your question, yeah, we're making sure that we have everything planned out in case that happens. Now, fortunately for us, we have wide aisles, and we have 400,000 square feet. So we're hoping for the best, but we'll see. But
you had talked about looking forward to some of the conversations that you're going to be able to have at this year's event. I was wondering what else excites you about this year's event. Is there anything else going on that you're really looking forward to being able to be a part of?
Well, yeah, I think there's a number of things. Fortunately, I get to understand and deal with people who are bringing in certain content, and a lot of the influencers will be there, which is exciting. I know there's about 3 or 4 major influencers that are coming for the first time ever. And, that's exciting. There's nothing more exciting for me than when I bring a media person into the convention center for the first time, because I've been hyping it, right? I've been hyping it, to them for maybe weeks on end. They come down, they walk in the convention center, they look around there, and their mouth drops, their jaw drops. And it's like, oh my gosh, I never expected this. And that's looking at the faces of people that come in for the first time is always exciting.
Yeah, that'll be cool. One of the other things I want to talk about is the official charity partner. Mm-hmm. The national partners with a charity every year. In 2019, it was the Ronald McDonald House. This year, it's Signatures for Soldiers. And I think that opportunity to give back is fantastic. What is that process like for the national to evaluate which charity partner they're going to closely partner with in a given year?
Sure, that's a great question. And a number of years ago, the board of the national and John and Dan allowed me to pursue this vision concept I had, and basically it was more about the exhibitors and the industry giving back to the community that we were in. If we're in Chicago, we give back to Chicago. If we're in Atlantic City, we give back to Atlantic City. And I thought it was great in terms of creating something that the exhibitors could feel excited about and kind of own themselves. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that when we did the one in 2019 with Ronald McDonald House, many of the exhibitors stepped up, donated items for the auction, handbid auctions, donated their platform, their people. Everybody was just, jumped in on it. And, 100% of the proceeds go back to the nonprofit. So we were very excited. We were kind of disappointed that we didn't get to do it in Atlantic City. Coming back to Chicago, Tim Virgilio is a friend of the hobby and has been doing his give back for a number of years now, and he does it all by himself. So I asked him, I said, can we help you out? And without hesitation, he said yes. And so, we're just getting behind him. There's nothing better than to support a cause, an individual who really, really believes and really, really passionate about. And Tim has a lot of friends on the floor. He's already established relationships with the manufacturers and a lot of the exhibitors and a lot of corporates already. And so what we're doing, we're just kind of taking it to another level for him. We started the auction July 1st. It's online. It's on handbid.com. Just go to handbid.com, search NSCC. You'll see the auction. We have maybe about 20 or 30 items up right now. Now, the great thing about the platform is that we'll be able to add items as we go, right up to Saturday, July 31st, when we'll close it at 9 p.m. So, again, when we get to the show, I know TriStar has been great about donating signed items from a lot of the players that go there. So a lot of these things that we have planned will come to fruition at the show. But it's been great, and it's just a good feeling to know that we as an organization, as an industry, can give back to a community. And some of the things that Tim will do quickly, I'll just say that. We're inviting some veterans to the show, based on comped on us. Tim has reached out and working with homeless veterans, where we'll create a backpack full of items that we can donate to them. So there are a lot of things that we're going to be doing that will benefit the veterans. And with handbid, you can bid from anywhere in the world. So you could be in California, Florida, Michigan, New Hampshire, and still bid on this. So I would hope that everybody would help support this. And like I said, go to handbid.com, search NSCC, and give what you can. If you don't have an item that you want to bid on, donate. It's all there right in front of you.
Yeah, it's a great organization. Tim does a great job with it. And I know just from hearing him on some other platforms, I believe that he views this as his way to give back too. And as I understand it, 100% of the proceeds that he raises, he gives to the cause. So that's a great thing. People also, they always have suggestions and ideas on how the event could be better. And, there's also been suggestions batted around about potential locations and future locations. And even if, things like a smaller second event at some point during the year would be possible. Probably not here within these last 2 weeks before the event, but what is the best way for people to share those types of thoughts and suggestions with you and the rest of the leadership team?
Well, the board, the Nationals board, John Brogy, Dan Burkus, they have open ears. I mean, they listen, they will listen to anyone and everyone who has a suggestion. And mind you that, each year at the National present options, and then the exhibitors will actually vote on it. So, I mean, the exhibitors are going to partake in next year, or actually 3 or 4 years down the road. They'll actually vote on it. So it's not just us being the National who's putting this together. It's just it's a vote. Now, having said that, I need to tell you that, and I going back to my work with the leagues. I've been in pretty much every convention center throughout the country, in every major market. Everyone is different. Some are easier to work with, some are much more difficult to work with. But there are so many things that are involved in planning for an event. And an event of this magnitude, you're talking about 400,000 square feet, which is on one level. You're talking about the hotels. You're talking about location. You're talking about move in, move out. How easy or how difficult that is. All these things come into play when you're making a decision. And I don't think a lot of people understand that you just can't pivot when you have something this big. Yes, I can't tell you how many suggestions or recommendations. Dallas, Florida. Of course, I mean, those are all great ideas, but something may work, something may not work. I mean, we have a hotel guy who specifically just works on hotels. Now, what he does is he makes sure that the rates are right. He makes sure that everything is copacetic. You just can't move into a market and all of a sudden have the right hotel rates for our exhibitors, right hotel rates for our attendees. That's just a simple fact, and then you think about everything else that goes around it too. It's just very difficult. But when we had Baltimore was a great market, and people said, well, why don't you go back to Baltimore? Well, the problem was that, we wanted to go back to Baltimore. But the thing is that, when you talk to the Baltimore convention people, they couldn't guarantee, our dates or our time, 2 or 3 years out. And I guess in their minds, they were looking for maybe something bigger. They wanted to keep it open. So we couldn't get that guarantee, and we need to be 2 or 3 years out. We just, we can't do it year by year. That's just impossible. And so, we had to bypass them, unfortunately. But same thing with other markets too. Every market, it's the deal that you strike with the convention center. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, that'll be easy, no problem." Dallas, no problem. Well, yeah, there are a lot of problems. You have a lot of challenges that you have to address, and so you can't make that easy statement. But I think Cleveland was great for us. Cleveland was a great market. When I say great, is that everything worked. The convention people were great. The facility, the venue was great. Easy entrance, easy exit. The hotel room, everything was perfect for us. Easy for access to the airport. Unfortunately, they've decided to go in a different direction, and so Atlantic City, and I have to tell you, Atlantic City, the people there are fantastic, and people that have gone to Atlantic City maybe years ago, maybe many years ago when we had it there, it's a lot different now. It's more family oriented. It's more, they want our business. Back then, they didn't want our business. I mean, they took it and they charged us, but right now they really want our business, and they bend over backwards for us. And that's a good thing. That's one of the things we look for when we make a recommendation to the board, in turn gets voted on by the exhibitors. And Chicago has been fantastic. It's hard to say, well, yeah, let's move away from Chicago. And I know, I get it. I understand everybody wants a change. Yeah. But to answer your question simply, it's not that easy to make a change. It's not that easy to get everything, going in the right direction, get all the decisions made. And I guarantee if we move to a market and all of a sudden, the hotels take advantage of it, the exhibitors and the attendees are not going to be happy. But those are things they don't see. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that we have to work on to make things, a great experience for them.
Now, I'm going to put in a selfish plug. Me being only about 2 hours away from the facility in central Illinois here, I'd be happy if it was in Chicago every year. But I know not everybody feels that way, but I love it when it is here close in Chicago, just a couple hours away.
But just to follow up on that, the convention centers, they approach us all the time. And we are talking to them, finding out what they can offer. So if there's a situation that we feel that is worth it, we would present that to the board. The board would then present it to the exhibitors. To date, there just hasn't been anything that works for everybody concerned.
Well, I appreciate you coming on today and sharing a little bit about your background and what it took to get this event ready to roll here within just the next couple of weeks. Is there anything else you want to make sure people know about this year's 2021 National before they come?
Well, I think that, it is going to be exciting. It is going to be crowded. Just make sure that you get to the convention center early. Because if you get there later in the day, and I recommend to people that you may not see everything. You may not see everything in one day anyway, but get there as early as possible, and just pay attention. Go to nsccshow.com for our official website for updates. Check out what athletes will be attending. We've got another on such short notice. We've got, a really, really high profile athlete list, thanks to TriStar. They've done another excellent job so far concerning the athletes that are coming in. And, again, we're talking about doing a lot of legwork that's been consolidated into like just a couple months versus, maybe 6 or 8. So they deserve a lot of credit for what they've accomplished. And we all look forward to seeing you in Chicago, July 28th through August 1st.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
The Sports Card Shop is your small town local card shop with a global reach. Located in New Buffalo, Michigan, the shop is one of the most accessible in the Midwest. In addition to being an authorized Panini direct dealer, the Sports Card Shop carries all major trading card brands, including Topps, Upper Deck, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and more. With all that new wax, 500,000 singles, and showcases full of graded cards, you're sure to find something great for your collection, whether you're just starting out or a seasoned collector. The Sports Card Shop is your one-stop shop. So call us, come see us, or visit us on the web and social media. Our phone number is 269-469-0140. Website is thesportscardshop@moco.com. The Sports Card Shop is part of the Moco Retail Group, connecting sports, the hobby, and people around the world.
Thanks again to Ray for coming on. I really appreciated the conversation and getting a chance to hear about all of the considerations that go into choosing a location for the National. It's just not quite as easy as some of us seem to think it might be. Also, I'm really excited to see all of you who are coming to the event. If you didn't hear already, we will be doing a live show or a live recording of the podcast at the ComC booth every day from Thursday through Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 5 p.m. we're going to be doing a live recording of the show. I'm going to be having some special guests join me for a little bit, and we're going to spend a few minutes just kind of recapping the show, having a conversation about the event and what to expect for the next day. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. Let me know what you think about today's show by reaching out on Twitter at @TheMikeSummer, sending me an email at waxpackhero@gmail.com, or by searching WaxPackHero on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere else that you are involved. I'd love to hear what you have to say. That's all I've got for you today. I'll catch you next time.